And I better tell a great freaking story about how cool this rock is because I think we need the dust.
Ray Charles was asked, why do you like country music so much? He says, I love the stories. Right? When we hear a story, we are taken on a journey. And when we can have our prospect tell us their story, they are creating a new journey with us. And that to me is so thrilling, right? People talk about active listening and the art of listening. It starts with closing your mouth. And it moves forward by opening your mind.
Authentic, genuine curiosity, going in just to learn. And that's actually one of the pips.
Where did that start?
You know,
what were some of the things you were trying to accomplish?
Wanting to know.
That's right.
So when you said you're just curious at the beginning, I mean, that's the number one thing that salespeople really are supposed to be. Because how do we not find better ways to get those products in people's hands and make those products better and learn about how the next person, that's the other thing, learning how somebody wants to buy or why they buy. Like, that's the second most important thing a salesperson can ever hear is no, because it gets you to move on. But it's also important to hear the why, to understand. And if you really have that confidence to say, you know, can you do me a favor? I don't expect you to buy this at this point, but can you tell me what made you make that decision? Was it my approach? Because I do want to improve. That opens up the doors, so much more insight for the future.
So I like that. I need to do that more often. Now, what about when you didn't win an opportunity? Do you go back and ask why? I recently did that. Is that something that
You mean right away?
So kind of like a follow-up to, hey, now that we're, partners, could you tell me, why did you choose me? What about when you didn't secure?
Oh no, I'm saying to do it when you don't. I'm saying it's more important when somebody says I'm not interested. I call it riding the Bronco. Staying on the phone long enough to just get more info. That's totally cool. Could you do me a favor and tell me how I did? Was it our product? Was it that you weren't planning on buying anything? Was it my timing? Because then they start telling you not only what you need to hear to improve, but when you can come back and sell to them again. Because they might say, actually, you know what? If you had emailed me something 3 months ago, I probably would have looked at it, but we've already made a decision, which I wouldn't have gotten if I didn't ask that question. Now I know in a year where their buying cycle hits. And I say, hey, is this the right time to send you that email? I'll probably follow up with a call too. But yeah, I'm always interested in what keeps our clients that we get in, but yeah, I'm specifically saying those are the opportunities, those no moments where we get frustrated, we hang up the phone and we're like, that sucked. Well, yeah, because we didn't procure out of it what we could have. There's still things in that we can mine, data and information. So when curiosity is the goal, rather than a close, you can actually reap ROI even if you don't get revenue out of a deal. Because sometimes those people end up referring you to somebody. And most people don't even ask, like, well, is there anybody else that you think could use this service? They just go, okay, thanks, bye.
Right.
And that was the thing. I think that when they were able to provide that feedback, it made sense to me. And so to be able to speak to that just shows that, hey, when there are future opportunities, we are set up for that. And those disconnects that happen, were solved throughout that conversation, through that feedback. And so moving forward, yeah, there's more opportunities. So that's important for me, never to just close a door. I always like to leave them open.